Isaac was cornered. His mother fueled with the desired.
Alright, welcome all. Meant to stream a little bit earlier this week, but life's been an interesting thing for the past couple of days. Kind of partially explains why friend Levi isn't here. He's not dead or anything, but yeah. There to start off the cheerful stream on a kind of down note, but yeah, it's kind of the way it is. Life, you know. Anyway, gonna start out with some KSP, and if you're very, very lucky tonight, you might see me humiliate myself in some CSGO. To know if it's gonna be matchmaking or if I'm gonna puss out and do community maps. Be a shame if I did the second one. Definitely gonna be a sad performance. Haven't played Counter-Strike in years, so definitely in for a treat no matter what. Anyway, let's just pause this music and get right into it. Nice to have you guys on board. Okay. Pardon me, it's been a while since we've started this up. Gonna take a little while to load actually, so, you know, let's get the music back going again. Sorry. Okay, amazingly enough, we managed to get the damn game actually going. Interestingly enough, it didn't load almost instantaneously. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I see our last viewer is gone, so this stream just got a little bit more depressing. Hopefully not. Viewer count is quite delayed, but just get right back into it. Yes, we are 12-year-olds in disguise as grown-ass adults. Anyway, just as well that I'm shouting into the vacuum right now. Gonna be doing some super stupid stuff by now. Anyway. Okay, lander can... Stay put Nick. Another stay put Nick. Not really sure what to call that. Looks like a horrid freaking mishmash of pacifier and sex toy. And a severe mismanagement of space program funds. But, I'm just gonna call it, just on a whim here, astrophysicical. This is probably about right. This seems about right, yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. There we go. Now we're good. Perfect. Okay. So we're gonna save that, because... and we're not. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, one crew for that. Because, hey, we need our crew for autonomous freaking pods. Okay. Gonna creep along now. We do not have the torque for this, apparently. Alright. Now's when things get exciting. Go ahead, get rid of those titties. I'm gonna put some more guidance units on there. Jesus, come on now. Behave yourself. Eat your vegetables, Johnny. Eat your vegetables, or I will freaking trouble you and toss you into space. Okay. Yeah, stabilizer. I believe that one was the one that had the most torque. There we go. That middle advanced SAS module. Kind of a waste of power. Hey, we're playing with a few little twigs and cheats on, so zip-de-doo-dah, zip-de-day. Anyway, get right to it. We'll see about putting the titties back on there in a bit. You know, I kind of expected that one, actually. Let me see. I believe I actually have cheats off. No? No, apparently I did that. Apparently I did that twice. Seriously? Okay. Yeah, cheats are off. So... alright, let's try and do something now. I'm sure you can find all sorts of bullshit with guys messing around in Kerbal Space Program and getting nothing done, but... well, someone actually doing something. I mean, obviously, you guys have a little bit of that, too. Otherwise, this would be a very, very boring game and a very, very boring community. But, sure isn't, as far as I can tell. Let's go ahead and get in on this shit. Fuel and oxidizer. I haven't really gone around to making an SSTO with the Rapier engine yet. Might as well. No, it does not quite work that way. Let's see. Kind of want to aim a little bit lower in terms of actual fuel tank size. Something around that ballpark. Come on. There we go. Here we go, instant SSTO. Said the guy to nobody. Anyway. Get some Delta Wings on there. Get a cockpit on there because I specifically want to risk Kerbal lives on this flight. Need a bit of a rudder. We're not going to just stick another Delta Wing on there. We are going to stick on a... honestly, we're probably just going to stick on a tail fin. Look at that. On angle snap. Yeah, there we go. Believe we need air intakes for the air breathing phase of this, so let's get that handled. Alright. Okay, we can can do the radial air intakes. Let's do about... Just go ahead and do about 2 of those. Symmetrical. See about switching those off in the once we escape the atmosphere, or in the upper reaches of the atmosphere. And go from there. Let's get some control surfaces on there. I believe those are oriented correctly. And let's see. Small control surface. A little tail finny back here. If you could orient yourself correctly, that would be amazing. Good grief, what is even happening? Come on, stop it. Stop. Grr. Alright. Oh, that's close enough to kiss, so... Very, very basic. Possible SSTO here. Very, very boring. Basic night, I guess. Hopefully not for you guys. Hopefully you guys are having a nice Labor Day weekend. But Grump here, building the space plane. Seriously now, what? What? What the fuck? Excuse me. What? Okay, Kerbal Space Program. I guess you don't want to be friends then. We could play that way too. It's really not a good idea to have... Like, in real life and in Kerbal Space Program, it's not a good idea to have the wheels splayed like that. You want to have them somewhat vertical, perpendicular to the ground. Right, well, we've got our air intakes, we've got just about everything this thing needs to fly. Should really take a look at the center of lift, center of mass. That is kind of where we need it to be, kind of figured it would be. Really hard to go wrong with this kind of a... This is so simplistic, I hesitate to even call it a design. This is skeleton craft. So I hear, folks, I hear definitely not first. I can absolutely guarantee not first. Very finest on this channel. I'm so sorry. Anyway. We should really scoot these wheels forward a touch. Give some better leverage. Hopefully that doesn't make that skim the ground. I don't think it will, honestly. So, it's gonna kick it down, kind of lift it up a little bit. We should be able to get the leverage we need to angle this up and get us into the atmosphere. And then back to the ground. And then into pieces. And we're gonna turn back time and do it all over again. Isn't that right? The loading screen. Loading screen. Isn't that right? I mean, Jeb. Yes, it's Jeb. I almost forgot your name, and I know exactly why, because I don't care about you. You ditzy-doo little dumbass. I seriously don't give a shit about your virtual life. Oh, you... I'm not sure what you did there. It looked like a clap. Oh, okay, so you're just... You're not making this less hard for me. Like, you're gonna die. Goodbye. Wow, I didn't even give this thing enough thrust. I guess I didn't get the leverage right either. Come on. Come on! Come on! Oh, shit. Fuck! Oh, this played out exactly how I thought it would. Yeah. There we go. Well, it's a nice view of the hangar, isn't it? Now this is what it looks like from the inside. Man. Just not enough thrust. Could have sworn making an SSTO was simpler than that. Well. Let's see here. I had my engineering mods on here. I don't have them set up yet. I'll be able to figure out what thrust mass ratio is pretty quickly. Well, let's see. Thrust here. You need a pretty good amount of, let's see, intake air. Didn't think we needed that much. Well, let's let it back on there and give this a second shot. We'll see how this turns out. That definitely does not have enough thrust, and those wheels are in the wrong place. Definitely. So we need a better angle of attack. We need better leverage. That may actually kiss the ground. And we need a little bit more thrust here. So we're gonna get some more thrust. And Watson is gonna get it. If I could stop talking like a hick, that'd also be great. Let's see. Now, there's a pretty good chance I should be good at this game, you know? At least better than I currently am. Considering I'm an actual engineer. But it's just unfortunate that I'm not. There's a good chance they nerfed these because they made SSTOs too simple. I haven't been keeping up with the updates, but go back to the drawing board here a little bit. Let's take a look at the mass of the fuel tank. Mass of the fuel tank is whoopsie-doobity-dee that 1.8. Mass of the cockpit. Like what is it? Yeah, 1.28. So we're up to like something like 2.6 already, almost, just for those two components. I don't really feel like I should... The lifting surfaces really ought to not be that heavy, so... yeah. Let's go ahead and see here. Maybe let's just go with a rocket engine at this point. Why the fuck not, you know? It is a space plane after all, so it kind of... it'd solve the intake air problem, but it wouldn't... not sure if it would really give us the oomph to make it an SSTO. Oh. We'll see. Mainsail engine, way too big, probably too much thrust. Probably gonna wreck us. That's just not quite enough. There. We were already kind of lagging behind with the with that engine there. Max thrust, min thrust there. Well, it has a really good min thrust there, and it's got good vectoring too. Well, it's got all right vectoring, I guess. Let's see about. Maybe let's try the nuclear engine. Max thrust, not so much. Could apply those radially, that might be interesting. Rockamax Poodle liquid engine. Can see about a Poodle. Maybe that liquid engine. This is definitely not all that good of an idea. Alright, let's see about the angle of attack, additional thrust. We are shedding a tiny bit of weight due to getting rid of those radial air intakes. Let's launch this semicolon, and alright. Ooh, definitely got the angle of attack change there. Alright, let's punt it. Flashlight, dance party, engage. Anyway. Probably shouldn't have SAS on in any case, but there we go, it wants to take off now. Not so bad. Now, this is definitely not efficient, especially in lower atmosphere. But we've got this thing flying, and I believe we are no longer stable, actually. That's quite unfortunate. It's weird. Yeah, it's just doing a weird shimmy thing. I believe I might have my center of mass and center of lift screwed up again. And there's a good chance that we need some more thrust. Yeah, we need more than 50% thrust to stay afloat here. We're already through more than half of our fuel. So we're gonna do a backflip into the ocean, if we have the fuel for that. Assuming we have the fuel for that. You really don't need fuel to do that, actually. We just need forward velocity. And we're decelerating, we're decelerating. Oh, we're nosing back. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ah, yeah, we can keep going. There. And now to do the one thing you were basically built to do. Crash. Or splash in this case, since we're over the ocean. A little bit less exciting, but still something. A little bit of something. Okay. So it's back to the drawing board on that. We might do this a little bit longer. Really get sick of this. And meet my maker. The battlefield of CSGO. That's gonna be a fun time for me. That's totally something that I'm good at. Jesus. Like, I actually do have a warm-up for this, for CSGO now. You know, I have been practicing, you know, in preparation for the end of times, essentially. Might as well be for me. But, yeah. Let's get back to it. Definitely think we aren't super popular amongst the KSP streams going on right now. A lot of guys have come in and dropped back out. I guess face cam is a big part of this business. But believe me, yeah, I kind of do want face cam too, actually. But it's not possible right now. Maybe in the future. Maybe Pixar didn't happen. Maybe whatever. So, all likelihood, we just need a little bit more thrust here. We're not going to cheat it. We're going to do it the right way here. See about if we can shed weight a little bit. Let's see. 18. Not mass. 2.25. What is the mass of this thing? That's 4.5 mass. I don't know if we actually need all of that. That's about half the mass, half the capacity. I think it might just be enough to get us to zip around a little bit, get back into the swing of things. Well then, goodbye. Hasta luego. Fuck. Alright, well, shoot. This is an embarrassing thing to do on stream. Oh. Sorry, it took me a while to fumble out of that, and there is a way to just get rid of everything all at once, but don't really have the wiki open. Anyway, half-size tank, half the mass. Really, we we just need to get going here. A little bit. Just a little something. Okay. So, fix the angle of attack. Ideally, we would go for some more engines here. If we had some certain mods, we could actually splay things out, do sort of a manifold, sort of split this fuel source into multiple engines, essentially. But we can't do that unless we I guess we can try and do it with some radial engines, but that might not be the way to do it. Can't apply those radially. Rapier engines cannot be properly applied radially either. I mean, there is this radial engine here. Let's see about maybe getting a little bit of that on there, a little bit of that action. Let's see about putting it in symmetry mode. This could work. I feel like this is kind of a band-aid solution, but we will see. You know, if I stage this no longer an SSTO, it is a, you know, multi-stage, you know, space vehicle. So, yeah. And I probably shouldn't be starting my build with a fuel source, but we'll address that. Okay, so that will shift the center of lift a little bit forward. Let's see, what's the mass penalty on that? We might want to put some cannards on there, actually. This is an ugly fucking rocket. Let's put some cannards on there. Help with the lifting a little bit. Those are going to act, in case you guys aren't familiar with, you know, some other KSP streamers or other KSP YouTubers, perhaps. These cannards are sort of going to act to sort of lift that front forward, while the control surfaces, you know, which are going to be situated back here, essentially, well, back here a little bit more, this is going to push down, these are going to lift up, and that's going to sort of work to angle the whole vehicle upwards, so that we can actually get the angle of attack needed to achieve lift in this stupid, crippled physics engine in this game. And I know that you can mod in Fairm Aerospace, but still doesn't help the game's case that it's that particular way. Okay, so this thing looks dorky as all fuck. It's kind of charming in its own way. Well, at least I think so. Half-heartedly. Oh, look, it's not even attached properly. Radial engines are not attached properly. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out something like a radial engine body. Okay, is it just me, or is that straight up identical? Okay, well, nacelle it is then. Okay, excuse me, what? There. Alright, and punch out. And punch in. Yes! You actually make something flyable with that, but we are trying to sort of build off of this platform a bit. Probably should have hesitated to say platform. And we are going to make this into an SSTO. Baby steps, people. Baby steps. Okay. There we go. Oh, come on, lifting center. There, I left. Ooh. Who's cutting it kind of close. Maybe that might actually make it pretty maneuverable. But I want this thing to actually fucking fly, too. It doesn't matter how maneuverable it is. There we go. We have center of lift moving slightly backwards now. Center of mass is going to scooch along with it, because we are actually going to bias that towards the back with the wheels that we tack on there. Yes, they're in utility. Yes, I forgot. Nope, that's too far back. We need them about there. That's probably about good. Leverage, people. It's all about the leverage. And honestly, that could kind of stand to go a bit further back here, and also be centered. Now that's going to be pulling up, so this is going to be kind of irrelevant to the whole leverage this is exerting on that. That is kind of curled up. Maybe we can fix that a bit. A little bit better. Man, that is fugly. That is real fugly. I don't know what charm it had, but it's gone now, baby. Fucking gone. Okay, so that splay is gonna cant that upwards. It's situated where it needs to be. This plane is still ugly as fuck. But, since we're deal with that a little bit. This is gonna have additional thrust, gonna have a little bit more maneuverability, assuming that the depletion of fuel doesn't shift that too far. You know, if anything, it might actually shift the center of mass a bit forward. I would think so, at least. Then, yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna leave that control surface, leave that without a control surface, and we're just gonna see how this goes. I feel like we can deal with this, so, yeah. Might see about making that tail fin a canard if I really worry about it, or we'll make it 2 splayed canards. So, that's probably a bit too much angle of attack, actually, but we'll see. Well, it was too much. Yeah, the radial engines on top was probably not a good idea. Whew, okay. Come on, come on. Get your sheet, you're supposed to get over here. So I don't feel like this is a very good idea, but I'm going with it. My gut is telling me yes, my engineering sense is telling me no, and a little bit of you're so crazy that maybe you're right. And you know, the actual rational part of my brain is saying, what the fuck are you doing with your time, man? Yeah, this is not gonna work. So, for one thing, this is shifting the center of mass too far back. So now, we're gonna click in, this is gonna be, oh boy. Oh boy. No. Excuse me, but no. Better. Yeah, there we go. So that's gonna make it vaguely sane, and that kind of, the center of thrust is there, you know. So, kind of wish we could do just 4-fold symmetry, but I guess we can't, so. Alright, let's do this then. Alright, if that crops up again, we're gonna see about a ban there. That sort of thing is not okay. Whew! Alright. We made a missile! Yeah! Oh hey, Jeb's alright. Hey Jeb, how you doing? Want an EVA? Too bad! Not getting an EVA. Alright, left Q 04. That sort of shit in the chat. You're kind of lucky I'm not banning you just straight away. You're probably not around to hear this. I kind of hope you aren't. They don't want you here. But, I know this is not the quality you're up to, you know, that you're used to. This is just kind of what's coming out. Probably shouldn't be streaming right now. Definitely the, fuck, it's the beginning of a long week. Beginning and end, in a way. But yeah. That sort of behavior is not acceptable. If I see you in here again, I'm gonna ban you. Alright, so we're gonna try think that out a little bit. Let's see what's up here. Actually, center of thrust is exactly where I thought it would be. There. Hey, it's center too, just like I thought. Center of lift, I had that backwards. Excuse me, I had that backwards. Whoo! Man, that was great, isn't it? Piss in a biscuit. No. Stop that. Fucking way, man. Dude. You need to lay off the drugs. You need to let me do my job, okay? Okay? Not if you're a... Yes, you're alright with that. Don't shake your fucking head at me. Yep. I'm talking with my hand right now. It's gotten to be a very strange night. Alright. Excuse me. Excuse me? There we go. Okay. Okay, so this is definitely unstable. It's a lot of fun to watch. And I believe we have crapped out that engine. And we made another missile. Oh, hey, Nope, those are gone too. Alright. Anyway. I'm gonna actually take this as an opportunity to go ahead and ban that dude. Let's see. Sorry, folks. Alright, just kind of a lesson. I understand that this is kind of a pretty small stream. Definitely an understatement, actually. But that sort of behavior is not really tolerated anywhere. Actually, especially here. There's something called standards here of human behavior. So, that sort of shit's not okay. I guess we weren't clear. We haven't posted rules yet. We figured we're small enough. We're not going to run into those sort of issues, but if you're going to behave that way, we're going to have to deal with it. So, yeah. Anyway, I do believe our problem there was straight up too much thrust. And a serious mismatch. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, let's see. Our center of mass is actually below our center of lift. That would have something to do with it. Might explain flipping over and all sorts of shit there. But yeah. Anyway, I think it's time to move away from just a single engine design, because that is just straight up not working. So let's see about if we can go for some RAM air intakes. We can't just stick with the same old design over and over and patch band-aids on it, because that's just called, you know, it's called a lot of things, but I'd like to just plainly call it bad engineering. So, yeah. No bad engineering in this house. So, we are actually going to move on to a new base that is actually a cockpit, so we can have a more modular design here. I'm going to go ahead and use a larger fuel canister there. We're going to see how this goes along. Yeah, okay, so let's see, we probably shouldn't go for too big of wings yet, so we are going to stick with the delta wings, because with so without modding, of course, you know, you just have wing extensions, wing connectors there, and that buys you a little bit of length, you know, but it for the most part it just kind of lets you add more lifting surfaces, more control surfaces, and that sort of thing. It's just kind of a cosmetic thing. A little bit of lift there. Again, not amazing. I guess about half as much as Delta Wing, but anyway, we're starting small here. Go into symmetry mode, of course. Go ahead. You can see about sticking an engine back there, but I think we want to go for the time being, dual engines, RAM air intakes. We're going to pipe in fuel from that center fuel canister, see where it goes. And goodbye, additional viewer. It's nice having you while it lasted. Yeah, okay. Propulsion, rapier. So just tack that on there. Okay, that's not necessarily what you can apply radially. Let's see, we can see about applying RAM air intakes radially. That's kind of what we need. Aerodynamic. What exactly is going on here? I should be able to just apply it directly to that surface. Perhaps it's just not good form. So let's see about adding some structural elements that actually, let's see, fit against fuselages and hull bodies. Comes with emergency bolts to separate jet engines in the event of fire or catastrophic failure. Doesn't really help if you designed a missile, though. So, move away from that, actually, real quick. Small hardpoint. Okay, maybe it'll cave. To some degree, tempted to try the splay out design again. You know what, let's go with engine on wing design. If we actually could Kerbal Space Program, that would be nice if we could try that particular design. No? No, you're gonna be that way. Ooh, yes, you're gonna be that way. Who's a bad doggy? You're a bad doggy. Okay. So that's a bunch of nope. Also nope. It's always interesting. Find yourself in a sort of conundrum every time the game just wants to not do something. The absolute simplest thing is to put that on there. I'm gonna see if I can tweak this to actually work. We're gonna fit those underneath. Playing game roulette here, essentially. No, and so there. I believe that's what we want. Yes, it is. Okay, engine underneath. We'll see about elevating enough that we don't knock on the ground there. That's gonna be a tough thing to do. I believe we can achieve that though. Let's see about adding some additional structural elements so that we can actually do so. So we can't afford to display the engine. We can't afford to display the wheels anymore. Really, because if we display them, they will just hit these elements here. Will just even hit the ground immediately. So let's go ahead and take a look. See, look around. I'm just twiddling at this point, but we need to actually look around for particular structural element. A particular structural element will allow me to fit some engine wheels on here. There we go. Alright. Good grief, what is happening? What? What the hell? What? Oh. Hello there, Robbie Stew. Sorry to chunk the game there. Welcome. Hope you're having a nice night. Oh, good grief, please don't do this to me. No! No! The crocodile rises! Okay, so as you can see, having a bit of a interesting time trying to get structural elements to behave themselves. But, aside from that, it's a nice KSP night. Scoot in a little bit, tilt up. Nope. Like a finger wag at that point. You don't get what you want in terms of the structural elements. Whew. Oh! Oh, we got it. Kinda. Huh? Oh, please, don't do this to me. Now we just need to flip it over. Come on. I'm really not sure what to make of that. Okay. Okay, be that way. There we go. Oh, feet. And... that was more intense than it needed to be, honestly. Oh, yeah, sorry. Really don't need to quit out of chat for that thing. That's somewhat superfluous. As you can tell, the title is Sleepy Stream, so as kind of explains about 90% of that action right there. So yeah. Anyway, so we're just kind of trying to make an SSTO here. Really think this should be a lot simpler than it is currently proving to be. Oh yeah, we're trying. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Build an SSTO, and like, I'm sure there's a billion tutorials on this, you know. And the problem is, kind of like you don't give a doctor medical medical advice. It's kind of hard to tell an engineer what to do. I'm actually an engineer, kind of getting into the stuff most relevant to this now in my current year, and just kind of using principles I know, like involving center of lift and center of mass, to try and build something. We did get something to fly. A few things were stable. Last thing was hilariously unstable. It did a couple of backflips before turning into a ocean-bound missile. That was pretty fun to watch by itself, but it was not what we were trying to achieve here. So I'm just trying to find the tail fin. There we go. Usually, I don't usually use tail fins in my designs, but I'm really trying to minimize weight here. Usually I use splayed canards, and usually that works pretty well. I remember, and it's kind of embarrassing that I haven't managed to reproduce the same success as easily, but I remember my first SSTO in this program, in this game, was actually, it was essentially a design I pulled out of my butt. Most people would say it wouldn't work, but it did exactly what it said on the tin, single stage to orbit. I believe it used that specific drop here. Oh, it's 10:35 over where you are. That's good, because I believe it is like 2:38 where we are right now in the morning, and it's we just I guess we just wrapped Labor Day. You guys are coming out of it. Luckily for me, I don't specifically have classes today, hence why I'm doing this, because no sane engineering student would stream when they have like homework due the next day or something, you know. So, you know, this kind of goes against the goal, but I'm willing to see what exactly this design does. I'm pretty sure I have an idea of what it'll do. Let's see, so the center of lift is a little bit forward of the wheel. You know, no, I know exactly what it'll do. I can see the picture in my mind what it'll do. The mechanics of that are not complicated. But yeah. Like, what's tomorrow for you? I don't mean to get into personal questions, but is it like work? Is it a free day? If it's a free day, that's pretty rad. Those become few and far between as things go along. Jesus Christ, just find the wheels already, man. Okay. Wheel. There. But yeah. What's up with you, man? I don't mean that in an accusatory way, but what's the rest of the day look like? Okay, so that's about bare minimum SSTO there. We do want to see if we can do sort of a standard transition between an air breathing and simple fuel oxidizer phase here. Oh, what it means with when you say a rocket rights in the sky. Not really sure. I mean, there's definitely like planes that skywrite. Oh, that actually looks quite nice there. Gets a nice angle of attack. But I'm sure that you could actually. This is in my ballpark to some extent. I probably wouldn't use a rocket to do it, but you know, I guess short answer is no. I don't know. But I'm gonna go on about how I'd use like a robot helicopter to do it. And I'm sorry. But I'd use a robot helicopter to write in the sky, essentially. And that sounds crazy talk, but that's what I would do if I wanted to write in the sky. Forget about the planes. Robots are the future. They can also sense turbulence patterns incredibly quickly, and with current technology, current processing technology and sensor technology, you can do crazy shit. But yeah, we're gonna fly this. This is gonna crash, and I'm excited to hear what rocket right in the sky means. I understand that. Oh, Ooh. Okay, that's not the correct angle of attack. Whoops. Let's see here. Yeah, we need a structural element right about there. Probably about 2 of them. Oh, sorry, I'm not actually taking a look at the thrust center there. So, yeah, let's see. So, that would probably have something to do with it. Yeah, the backwards flipping. I'm mainly familiar with the interaction between the center of gravity and center of lift, so I apologize. For an engineer, I'm a pretty big noob here when it comes to this stuff. There's other things I mainly concern myself with, like in terms of the general design of spaceships and such. You don't learn that until a little bit later, and you need to like to take those classes or self-teach. What I'm mainly concerned about as an engineer is lifting surfaces and such, so fluid flow around them makes things go up, essentially. Hopefully not down, unless you want it to go down, in which case you made a missile, but, or a very, very poorly designed plane in this case. But, yeah, I usually don't like making vessels this short. In fact, the first successful design... Oh! So the skywriting thing, the rocket writing thing is a colloquial sort of thing. It's kind of like, oh yeah, your plane's gonna write in the sky, it's gonna do a lot of O's. That's funny, actually. I've definitely had a couple of, you know, planes do that before. And by a couple, I mean, you definitely know that I mean a lot. Excuse me, I actually threw that away. There we go. So yeah, I'm gonna see about making this longer, as per your suggestion. And honestly, that design was getting pretty bloated and silly anyway. So let's see. Now these fuel oxidizer capsules tend to be pretty heavy, and for the air-breathing phase, I'm not really gonna be using oxidizer at all. So honestly, I think let's see if we can go for something like a straight-up fuel structural element here. Not a structural element; it'd be part of the fuselage. But let's see. Thank you for the advice. I mean, interestingly enough, the guy who came in here before, I think his contribution to the conversation was... What was it? I think the message is purged now, but it was something like, fuck yourself. Yeah, that sort of thing is... I can sort of understand internet trolls, but, like, not here, man. That is not a-okay here. So... It's interesting that the center of thrust goes through the floor. But that should help extend the whole thing a little bit. Yeah, I haven't built enough of these things to get a real feel for it yet. It's just kind of... They're sort of like a big thing when you learn a skill, you sort of work from your subconscious a lot, and it's, you know, it goes with a lot of skills, you know, that involve dexterity, especially, you know, involving shooting and, you know, involving sports. But to some extent, it extends to design skills and design of planes and space planes and rockets and Kerbal Space Program. I haven't done enough of this to get a real feel for it. I still have to consciously think about everything. So, at this point, I believe our thrust-to-mass ratio is... So we need a longer plane, essentially, because the center of thrust is just simply too close to the center of mass. But at the same time, as we extend that out, we sort of have a mass penalty that comes with that. And I believe the original thrust-to-mass ratio was just one of these fuel elements and one of these engine... I keep trying to call everything an element, but with one of these engines was just too low. The thrust-to-mass ratio was too low at that point. So, let's see, I think we were going towards a splayed engine design. Perhaps not the most ideal thing. But, I guess this whole thing's about discovery here. I mean, I apologize I'm not a seasoned pro with KSP, but I'm hoping there's some appeal here for you guys. Or for you, sorry. let's see, structural utility, display out using a manifold. That would be, again, you can tell, like, figuring out where things are is, well, that's not the way to do it. Okay, so we can go ahead and see about structural pylons. We do a twofold sort of thing. See about doing hang on a sec. See about doing something like a, again, at this point I can't really attach the engine to the body directly. Let's see, so are you saying that I don't need to worry about the aerodynamics of the structure all that much here? I mean, because from my understanding, the aerodynamics in Kerbal Space Program is not all that great. It calculates it based off of not necessarily surface geometry, but more so cross-sectional area. So in the eye of the physics engine, this is essentially what it sees, and it calculates from that. That might have been an earlier build of Kerbal Space Program. But that's what I heard it essentially does. And the compression flame sort of, cone in front of it upon re-entry and upon escape from the atmosphere, that's not, it's just sort of a cosmetic effect that's based on forward velocity and exactly where you are in the atmosphere, etc. But are you saying I don't have to worry as much about the structure and aerodynamics here, or that I'm willing to bet I have to worry more, because I'm not, it seems like I'm not worrying enough. But yeah, well, in any case, for this larger design, let's see about if we can get some extensions for the wings. We're going to need some more lifting surface, honestly. Like in real life, this would be, like, if I were to just do, oh boy, if I were to just do that in real life, that's no longer a plane, that is an air-to-surface missile, Drop it from a plane, drop it from some sort of deployment system, and goodbye, whatever. That is not a plane at that point. So, definitely need some more lifting surface there. I mean, unless those surfaces are going to be in motion relative to the plane, like in the case of a bee. Like, I think there's some crazy model for, like, in case you didn't know, the fun facts involving bees, and not being able to fly, because scientists deemed it so, like, they determined that they cannot fly. That's not even kind of true. I mean, I guess if you play some Kerbal Space Program, you must have enough, factoid knowledge of just kind of aerodynamics that, that's kind of inherently obvious. But, I believe they were thinking about the bee as a fixed-wing aircraft, which, that is just crazy talk, in terms of, when you're talking about a bee, because bees flap. So you need to account for the relative velocity of their wings, relative angular momentum of their wings, and relative velocity of the wingtips and the different parts of the lifting surface, in order to just get a real picture, a real model of how a bee flies. And by now, the way the model of flight for bees is pretty well understood. So, like, I think there's a paper for it. I mean, I can't really link you to it. Normally, we would have, like, if it weren't so late in our time, we would have, like, a mod just kick you a link, but somewhat unfortunate that kind of late. It's kind of a short notice stream, to be honest, on our parts. But yeah, there we go. So control surfaces, hold a little bit to provide leverage, because yeah, that tilts the plane essentially. Yeah, it's weird what gets spread as Oh, so you're saying just mine the gravity center, put the middle of your vessel, and put a thrust center too close but not too far, just about. Okay, yeah. The main things you know, like just from kind of looking through information about this game, I kind of got the impression that you mainly need to worry about the mass and lift center, not necessarily the mass, the thrust center, but. Now that you mention it, it makes a lot more sense to, you know, to worry about that too. Definitely accounts for it. There were times where the lifting and gravity centers were exactly where they needed to be, but the thrust center was dubious at best. It was in a strange spot. You know, I'm gonna go for the splayed canards design here, since we're going for a larger aircraft. Probably about that. So those will also act as control surfaces, I am willing to bet. And let's see about... I'm not really sure what's going on here with the glitchiness of these intakes. I guess I'll just stick with the radial air intakes, although they may not be super efficient. And I can see about piping fuel into the engines from the central fuselage area. Oh, in aeronautics, they used to say it's nice if it would fly nicely. Oh, geez, those are not in a great spot. Oh, those are definitely not in a great spot. So, aside from, like, just, I guess, Kerbal Space Program, have you had some, like, formal training in terms of, you know, aerospace design and engineering? I mean, I'd be willing to bet, you know, like, Scott Manley, you know, a big YouTuber for KSP, he's had definitely, I would say he's pretty well qualified to go into a space program or something, you know, with the physics, degree and such, and I believe he was in grad school before he got, what was it, like, poached by the software industry, got into some of that, and eventually I guess he got into this, but, oh, yeah, it's definitely, believe me when I say I've made uglier things than this, and it seems like the uglier you make something, you know, like for simple things, you know, then obviously you can sort of game the engine a bit and get something to fly. But for bigger and bloated things, there's this there's this bloat that occurs when you just tack too many band-aids on a solution. I'm sure you've run into it. If you saw some of the things I've attempted to fly, that my friend and I have attempted to fly in this game, I don't know how good you'd feel about me working on this right now. Because, oh daddy, we have done some stupid things. Okay, so, I believe I probably want to get something like a structural, hold on. Probably about, that'd be just kind of eyeballing it, it seems like that'd be a reasonable distance for the thrust center. Okay. Well, at least I'm hoping that's a reasonable spot. I mean, I guess let me know if that's... Let me know if this is the red wire that's gonna kill us all. Perhaps maybe not like a very good spot for that. So I've had pretty bad luck with getting the engines to attach to essentially anything but just that rear sort of just open fuel port right there. I mean, I'm sorry you've already been giving a lot of advice here, but, like, I guess how would I go about attaching this engine? It's, I don't feel like that'd be enough to really take this thing off. It'd be a good idea just to have that in addition to perhaps twin engines over here. Preferably they would be slung underneath, you know? I guess you could have them on top too and do ram air intakes. Then we do have those air intakes too, so we're probably okay in terms of air. But, I don't know, I mean, like just directly mashing this on there, obviously not going to work. I have tried using structural pylons. Those are finicky. It seems like I'm having a lot of trouble getting them to, like... Ooh. Okay. No. There's an orientation that would be correct. Nope. Stop that. Yeah, probably something like... a bit more like... No, actually, this seems to be backwards. There we go. Yeah, definitely. Try again. It's a good thing I've got this on my laptop, so I can definitely try again. Not so sure about during this semester because... oh boy. My classes don't get to me first. You know. There are so many... like, being an engineer is... I mean, you know, hopefully I'm not, you know... I don't mean to go off on some crazy diatribe here, but being an engineer is really an awesome sort of thing. It's... like, in addition to this crazy shit, you know, my friend and I try to fly, and, you know, like, those are bad ideas, but... you know, like, my first year design project with my team, and it was a great team, to be honest. Awesome team. Hope to work in another team like that in the future. But, we came up with the silliest design for a robot. It was bizarre. I was surprised the thing even worked. I think we were all surprised the thing worked. And, the mechanics of it were complicated enough that it kind of defied, like, standard intuitive reasoning of how it would actually behave. There was, like, some soft body mechanics going on, some simple rigid body dynamics, you know, going on for some parts of it, so... And honestly, I think probably the best way to actually model a robot would have been with the... with something like a... Jeez, we might even need to have done something like a finite element analysis on the soft body part of things and see about the behavior there. But our robot probably shouldn't have functioned, like, based off of standard intuitive reasoning, but the math backed it up. And that's, like, a big part of rocket science, I mean, at least from what I hear, that, you know, you can't really just trust your gut anymore, you gotta keep trying, you gotta trust the math to some extent, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get something to work. At this point, I kind of almost love it when I'm wrong, you know? Yeah. Oh boy. That reminds me of the doubles. Oh, success! Success? Oh god, no. I don't think that's what success looks... Oh! I honestly don't think this is a good idea here. That looks cartoonish. Oh yeah. Yeah, don't try the same thing twice. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, regarding this, I guess I have sort of tried this sort of thing before. Oh wow, that looks really similar now that I step back and look at it. Okay, no. Let's see. It's definitely got more lifting surface, so... Makes it kind of tricky. Whoa. Hang on. Stop that. There. Get rid of the pylons. It's time to think a little bit here. What was I on to here? I don't really feel like... You see, this is the point at which I would start sort of kind of going into books and start really sort of wrapping my head around the mechanics of successful designs and going into that. Let's see. I think it might be an idea just to do a field test. I mean, stop being afraid of failure, just try something, break something. Okay, so been displaying wheels to get that angle of attack needed. Those are actually not in a good spot. Now they're too close together. I understand they need to be at a good point where leverage can kind of get the thing to actually take off right. Center of lift behind the center of mass. Center of thrust is reasonably far away from things. You know, that could be a little bit closer there, actually. Could stand to be a touch closer to the center of mass. Give it a bit of maneuverability. There's a good chance that engine might kiss the ground. So, perhaps not. And keep that around there. No? Down there. Let's see. Let's see. We might need to add some, just like a fuselage element. I mean, okay, I guess that was a fuselage element. And see about maybe emptying it to get that even further away, but let's just test it. It's interesting, when, like, I guess I got lucky the first time I, you know, powered up Kerbal Space Program and managed to create an SSTO that could actually get to orbit and then back to Earth and actually... Well, that was probably due to a lack of flying and also due to several problems with the design. The acceleration there was, like, I think our top speed was probably thereabouts, probably around 68 meters a second, and that's not even close to the velocity that you would need to actually lift. So, we need more thrust. We probably want that thrust center to be a little bit further away. Turn that back on. And yeah, like at this point, what I would do, you know, is if I had mods, I would do just sort of a manifold thing. Split this into two engines, you know, this fuel source to two engines, and it's got enough air, it seems. Like, let's see about one of these air intakes. Let's see how much. Intake air is 0.05. Intake area. Let's see. And it is really going to be dependent on forward velocity. Last time I checked, how much air is going into that, the air intake rate. But yeah. So we gotta change this from a very boring missile to a very, well, I'm not going to say exciting plane, but it's going to be something. Okay, so let's see if we can clear the cobwebs here. Think about something. Think about something. Go ahead and do that. Let's move it further back a bit, actually, and that should be okay. Let's see. So, this is just kind of going on a whim, and I probably lucked out. But, let's see, I remember I used one of these. I think I actually used multiples of these. You know, on my first SSTO. Technically, first Kerbal Space Program craft. And that was actually maybe not a good idea, because it got me to orbit and back, but when I got back, I probably had enough fuel to fly over several continents. You know, and then, like, when I landed, I still had fuel. It had a lot of fuel, in fact. It was kind of ridiculous, so that meant I was wasting so much thrust getting all that useless fuel up there. So I'm hesitant to tack one of those on here, but I'm kind of tempted to some extent. I don't know. I think let's stick with this design. Let's see if we can just get some more thrust on there. We might need multiples of these Rapier engines. I'm not sure if I want to go ahead and go outwards. Perhaps don't want to go up from an engine. Sorry, not from an engine. From a wing surface, because that sort of shifts the center of thrust upwards. But, I don't know. Try again. Gonna figure this out. It's gonna work. Something's going to space tonight. Space or bust. Hopefully not bust. Not really sure what bust would imply at this point, but, just hopefully not bust. Anyway. Engine nacelle. And in that case, yeah, no, radial air intake in that case is still alright. There's gonna be a weight penalty, but it'll be okay. We're trying to get to the structural, there we go. Structural pylon. Thereabouts. And in terms of actually lifting upwards, we might see about canards to sort of leverage this end upwards, in addition to the lifting surfaces pushing this end down. But we'll figure that out. Not every single design needs canards, and canards come with a sort of, it will shift the center of lift forward, of course, and there's a weight penalty too. But we're gonna see, aren't we? We're gonna see. Oh, come on, sleep deprivation, stop doing that to me. I want an engine nacelle, not a Rapier engine. Okay. There we go. I guess that's really not meant to go there, but we can see about making lemonade. Definitely shifting that center of mass a bit too far back, so we're gonna have to scoot that back a bit, and we might need to figure out lifting the back. We're gonna have a tail fin on there, so yeah, bust! Bust is, honestly, we win either way, actually, because getting the space means a bigger bust if we're thinking about the same thing at this point. Oh boy. Like, I mean, I guess there's terminal velocity coming down from space, but who diddy? Some of those crashes. You know, there's actually, I seem to remember, and this is probably not all that uncommon, but there's actually at least one instance where I remember I was coming down from space so fast, and I was time-scaling at just the right rate that I actually clipped through the Earth. Like, I didn't go inside of it, I went in one end and out of the other, and then exploded. I don't know how long it took me to stop laughing from that, but I honestly wish I caught that on video, because it was fucking hilarious. It was... oh boy. Let's go with just a single tail fin on this design. But yeah, the physics at... oh, nope. Nope. Behave. Eat your peas. Eat your peas, tail fin. No, no, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Don't have angle snap on, that would explain it. Okay, here we go. A little bit better. Oh, thank you. It's been great having you, Robbie Stew. I'm sorry that I mangled that pronunciation horribly, but it's great to have you. We look forward to having you back in the future. Anyway, good morning, have a great day. And we are getting to space, or we are going to bust. And explode, and... wait, what does bust mean then? Okay, we're going to stuff. Oh, hello, Das Beast TT6C. Probably mangled that pronunciation too. How's your night been, man? Night, day, assumptions, sorry. How's your night, day, morning, afternoon, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah been? Probably none of those things. Anyway, we are trying to build an SSTO here. It's been proving remarkably difficult, considering I have built tons of these before, but apparently sleep-battled brain plus not enough Kerbal Space Program equals SSTO? SSTO what? I don't understand what life is anymore! I don't understand Kerbal Space Program! I'm gonna stop the voice now, it's no longer funny. But, yeah. Anyway. So in case you don't know, and there's a good chance that you do know, SSTO is single station orbit. It's a sort of space plane here. I'm I kind of wish I was lying or joking when I say the first thing I ever built in Kerbal Space Program was an SSTO, and it worked. And since then, I've been trying to build simpler SSTOs, and, you know, had some pretty good successes, and the simpler I try and make them, the worse they turn out. And this is sort of an attempt to try and build something that, you know, works pretty well. Now I know you could just actually tack one of these engine nacelles or something, you know, along with one of these Rapier engines onto one of these cockpits and just go into space. Well, not go into space with that, but fly around as a tiny little pea pod and, you know, basically act like a little manned missile. What I'm trying to do here is go to space and hopefully not look ugly. Oh, thank you again, Robbie Stew. It's been great having you. But yeah, definitely trying to stop fiddling here. I'm sorry, I'm kind of a spaz. Definitely trying to get to space. Do something interesting. Actually, those things can be completely different. Another thing that can be completely different is dragging your ass directly over the runway. All over the runway. And then exploding. Normally I would abort this, but I honestly want to see what the fuck happens. Not much, apparently. Hey? Hello? Okay, it's boring. That took longer than it needed to. Ah. There have been funnier explosions. I don't know if you came in when I was going on about clipping through the entire planet and exploding on the other side, but that happened! I honestly wish I could show you. It was hilarious, and it was basically, I think it might have been, I don't think it was coming back from just like the moon, it was something simple. Pretty sure it was just coming back from orbit, but I had the speed, forward velocity and timescale speed set just right that I clipped directly through the Earth, out the other side, and then exploded. You would definitely think it would be a different order in which those events occur, but apparently not. Apparently not. Whew. Jeez, you would think Rapier OP, you know? Single stage orbit, no problem. And especially for like an engineer, like, oof. Yeah. I honestly hope that, like, next chance you get in Kerbal Space Program, try and find that magic combination that gets you to pass through the Earth and explode. I hope that becomes a thing, because that's hilarious. It is a barrel of laughs. Like, almost as awesome as these monopropellant things. And these are like... I mean, if I wanted to get to space, and didn't care about, not cheating, then obviously, if you've kept up with news, these little babies, these will get you there faster than just about anything. It'll also accelerate you to several times the speed of light in, like, no time at all. But I don't feel like crashing my game doing that last little bit, and I feel like a challenge. I don't want to just cheat my way to everything, so we're building this ugly bird that's going up to space. And so these wheels are definitely too far forward, they're splayed out a little bit too much. And there's also only one of them now, so... Hello? Hey. That's still not going to quite work, and I'm going to need to figure this out. So this board here is definitely pretty heavy. We probably need some lifting surface on that. Now, I have a serious canard problem. Like, I need to see, like, professional help to get me off of these things. Especially on SSTOs or space planes of any sort. But... yeah, they're going on there. Enough of that. So those are going to be level for now. Technically, I could just... I could cant them up and they would sort of tend to self-stabilize with that sort of configuration. Or if I didn't like myself at all, I could cant them down and break everything. Because that actually creates a positive feedback sort of situation where you go more and more out of line of where you want to go. And then things break. So, we're going to keep them level for now. Yes, they're level, they're not canted down. That's going to add lift a little bit. That's probably going to finagle with their center of lift in a way that I don't particularly like. So we're gonna shift these a little bit further back then. At this point, this is looking very strange. And we'll see how this goes. So we might want actually some struts because I saw some flop there. But we're trying to make some better decisions here about how to actually do shit. It is very easy to make just constant bad decisions in Kerbal Space Program and just introduce all sorts of bloat to your whole engineering, to your whole spacecraft. And yeah, I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. Anyway. So you guys in the, you guys out there, I guess. You guys in the US, you guys, somewhere around the world. Canada. That would be similar time zones to us, but, we're in good old, probably my accent already screams that we're in America. Oh, okay, that might explain a good part of it. It's not actually staged correctly. But yeah, where are you guys about? America Land, Kanuki Land, or Tanuki Land? Hopefully not the last one. That's kind of an interesting place to be. Okay, cool. In the US of A. So then, yeah, like, yesterday was... Yeah, definitely yesterday at this point. There's, like, no time zone that isn't past Labor Day. But yeah, Labor Day is old news to you now. Yeah, anything coming up after this? Classes, work, all the stuffs, none of the stuffs? Hopefully none of the stuffs. It's nice to have extra chill out time. Unfortunately for me, the stupid guy who decided to put 3 engines on the back of his plane and then tilt them into the ground. Unfortunately for a silly engineering student like me who chose that kind of battle, I've got stuff later on in the week. Oh cool, a guy from Maine. Boba Fett 4457. Welcome! It's great to have you, man. Seriously great to have you. But yeah, for a seriously masochistic engineering student like me, I've got, you know, homework that I gotta work on tomorrow. But because I'm also a young strapping lad full of too much vinegar for his own fucking good, I'm also here streaming for you guys, for me, for the guys inside of my brain called brain cells. Hopefully they don't talk back, then we have a problem. But yeah, so that should still have our angle of attack there. But yeah. So yeah, I guess I'm just kind of curious what you guys got planned after today. Nice to kind of hear about that sort of stuff. Yes! We have success! Oh wow, that's interesting vectoring there. So, I probably want a control surface over here. I'm not really sure why these control surfaces aren't. Guys, I think we have a problem here. I think we have a magical problem called aeronautical instability. Aeronautical instability. We are gonna crash. We are gonna crash so fucking hard. Oh no. Oh no. Ah, it's too bad. Oh, it's over the ocean. It would. I stand corrected then. That was fucking awesome. Yes. Oh, you gotta go to school in 45 minutes. Bummer, man. It's awesome to have you here. Yeah. Hey, better school than drinking your drugs and doing your milk, right? Because doing your milk hurts. Believe me, I speak from personal experience. But, yeah. Kids, don't do your milk, drink your drugs, and eat your school. Sure, that joke has been spouted out a bajillion times, but too tired to know the difference at this point. Anyway, so we have something resembling an okay thrust-to-weight ratio. We probably just have instabilities elsewhere. I am willing to bet that center of lift is just not where it needs to be. So I'm going to shift it back a bit. Why didn't I just do that first? I'm kind of surprised. Really need to stop compulsively putting canards on the cockpit. That's not going to do anyone any good. I wasn't kidding about the canard thing. Like, I need, you know, canners delivered directly, IV line into my left arm, just all the time. It's got to be, like, your Friday nights, going out, having fun, we're staying home playing video games, also having fun. my Friday nights are Canards, man! And mostly, engineering homework. But that's beside the point. Right now, we're just trying to get to space! Or stay in the atmosphere and not crash. That's great too. Okay, so I believe SAS would actually make this a little bit more palatable. It's basically the win button. I kind of figure as much. Like, that's rock steady at that point. That is stable. You don't have face cam, so you didn't see the quote marks, but that is stable, as they would call it. So there we go. It's banking right. It's going all right. And I just made the whole configuration unstable. I'm gonna fix that. No longer unstable. Happy birthday to the ground. No, not yet. No, we're gonna keep going up before we do happy birthday to the ground. So rudder and left, and rudder and left, and bank up. It doesn't show right now, but I'm used to flying like helicopters and planes in real life, so I do have an idea of like the plane dynamics of this, and we have so much fuel right now that I honestly don't know why we needed all these Stackham canisters and fuselage elements. But this actually looks like not half a bad plane, aside from those fucking radial air intakes there. Air intakes. We're up and away. I understand this night is winding down, and there are definitely guys who know their shit better than me in this game. Maybe not necessarily in engineering, in some aspects. But you got your Scott Manley, you got your, how was it, Danny 242, 24 or something. That guy's awesome. Okay, so we need to sort of keep an eye on our intake air, and eventually we're going to switch to oxidizer, and we are getting into something resembling orbit. We are full throttle right now. We might have it. We might have our SSTO. Oh my god, it is so fucking beautiful after all this time. So that's going to kick out. We're going to need to close those. Close? Well, yeah, we still have air, so we do actually need to close those. And oh no! I guess we didn't have the oxidizer there. So momentum might actually still carry us to the outer reaches of the atmosphere. I believe it will. We are decelerating, but we are still something close to orbital velocity. Let's take a look at that. Oh, not even close. Fuck. Well, I lie when I say not even close. If we burned our apoaps there, or apogee there, you know, we would be in orbit. I am happy. I am a very happy... Well, I'm not going to say bug because that's super trite. It's because it's the name of our channel doesn't mean I have to make a gimmick about it. Man, that apoaps is actually higher than we need it to be too. Like, I believe it's around 70 thou that you need to start burning, and then you know you start burning at you stop burning, allow momentum to carry you to your apogee, then you burn, circularize your orbits to some extent. That is satisfying music to hear at this point. This is a tiny, super tiny victory, but I'm glad you guys are here to see this. The pathetically simple SSTO. Could make a simpler one, honestly, but, yeah. Hey, it didn't take forever. And hey, succeeded. Just need to get the oxidizer into the damn thing, so... yeah. This is actually making me mildly sentimental. This reminds me of when I used to live in Arizona. It's not like you don't get the light pollution you do in certain cities where, you know, you can't see the stars at night and it's just like a cloudy mess. Like in Arizona, you're not like seeing the moon like that, of course, but you know, when everything's so spread apart and there's no light pollution or anything, you know, and you just look up and there are all these stars. You know, I mean, I guess I was too lazy to learn any constellations and go like, oh, that's that, you know. I think the only thing I tried to learn was like, that's a belt of Orion. And then I would just point to every freaking set of 3 stars and say, that's a belt of Orion there. And that there's, okay, I guess it isn't because it doesn't have the Big Dipper or whatever on it, but that's a belt of Orion. You know. Definitely amazing up in space, you know. This is making me sentimental even without mods. You know? I'm sorry about that. Sorry about the diatribe. Could you imagine if a pilot for a commercial flight went on about that? You see, this flight here reminds me of a trip to of living in Arizona. Was it a trip or living? I can't remember my own memories, because I am apparently 35 years old and flying this plane right now, but can't remember my own shit. SAS is off now. But yeah, could you imagine if a commercial airline pilot got all sentimental and wishy, you know, while flying a plane? It'd be just so unprofessional. So, I'm not sure about the specific specific definition of SSTO, single stage to orbit. We were at orbital speeds, you know, and, you know, not relative to, you know, where we need to be, but we were at, you know, orbital height, and could have gotten to orbital velocity quite easily if we just had a little bit of oxidizer for a burn, if I could just switch into that mode. I think we might have expended our oxidizer. Yes, we did. We did expend our oxidizer. Oh yeah, that needs, yeah, we need an air intake on that, so that we don't go into the oxidizer, you know, too much. But I believe SSTO, you can technically just say SSTO is just getting up to space, which we're definitely in, and then getting back to Earth without exploding. Now, I'd very much like to land this thing, so we're gonna time warp a little bit here so I can stop waxing poetical about how you can see the stars in Arizona. And, yeah, we're gonna land this thing. Then we're gonna take off and crash again, because, hey, it's just too much fun not to. But warp a little bit, get down to reasonable altitude. We're gonna switch those air intakes back on. And we're gonna get to it. That is assuming we don't explode. We don't want to explode. Keep saying explode when I know that there are people who might not get the reference. Any of you guys seen Homestar Runner out there? Oh, what? Hey, nope. Okay, well, I don't feel like that's the proper way to do things, by cutting out engines and spinning around like you're gyrating your ass. But yeah, any of you guys who are Homestar Runner fans out there, make some noise in the chat, I guess. Hopefully not enough noise to explode the chat, or explode the chat, because that would be painful. Not necessarily painful as much as the chat would be exploded. But, and just in case you think I'm kind of faffing about here, there are a couple of ways you could literally just about explode the chat. We don't need to go into stuff about security and stuff here, because this is not a kind of forum for those sort of things. And we should be getting our surface velocity down a little bit. I guess we'll vector left a little bit. Vector and rudder. No, nose down, a touch. And generally, once you would get close to the ground, I don't know if you guys who are familiar with Kerbal Space Program would know, generally as you get close to the ground, you would sort of deploy flaps to increase lift and kill your, surface velocity, so that you can sort of nose up a touch, get a little bit of lift, slow down, and then just sort of gently touch down for landing. Of course, there are a lot of commercial airline pilots who will just go, just gun those flaps, and then, they'll go in for the touchdown landing very gently. The very gently part is the tough part of it. Like, deploying flaps, anyone who's gone to flight school really should know that shit. But, like, the gentle touchdown, I understand it's tough, but oh boy. There have been some flights where I swear there was a bounce that just occurred. And I wonder how, guys. Mainly why. Alright, so we are seeing the proper draw distance there for it to actually kick in, not fuck up. Going for a landing there. Now we're going to need to look for flat land, and we have enough fuel to do so. So, yeah. Yes! We can do so. That's actually not our most efficient range for that. Okay. Can we land this crockety piece of shite? Can we do it? My money's on— oh fucking god, what the fuck is life anymore? Holy shit! Oh wow. Okay. Oh whoa. Oh, that was an interesting moment. I guess I better design more stable planes. And also kill my forward velocity touch. And move into more efficient range. Jesus Christ, that was nuts. Woo! That's the last thing you want to hear your pilot say. Oh, criminy, what is life anymore? I mean, that's like the first thing you'll hear your engineering students say. Oh, criminy, what is life anymore? But, pilot, when you're in the plane, oh, you missed it. It's alright, man. But yeah. Well, you might be in time to catch the explosion, though. So we're gonna land this, and then we're gonna take off again and turn this thing into an air-to-surface missile. Not knowing exactly. We don't. Oh, fucking god. Oh, nope. Alright. And, okay, that's. Angular velocity, why do you gotta be this way, man? Jesus. Stop being a thing for a second so I can nose down and stabilize the plane and explode you later. No! Eat your fucking peas so I can explode you later. Hey, stop it. Stop. Hey. Well, we might get that explosion a little bit sooner than I thought. No, boy. Holy shit. Well, the important thing is that, hey, at least we could have landed it. Fuck. We really could have landed that. That was actually flyable, but, because it just kind of let it get too unstable and it just shat its pants all over the... Well, it didn't exactly shit his pants. I think it popped open the back flap first and missed it all over the ground. You can see, like, there was a little chunk of corn there. What the fuck? Oh yeah, there's more astronomical semicolon debris, you know. Oh, another piece of corn there. Not really sure what that is. I'm hoping it's not okra. That'd be disgusting. I would call that a success. We got single station orbit, space, and back. Astronomical, you've fulfilled your purpose. And because I'm paranoid, save. But enough OCD. Let's move on to new projects. New project is... Look at the fucking sky, man. Look at the no. So, let's see. So, So let's take a look at the cross-sectional area here. Get rid of that cube box. I will inform you guys about what this is leading to in a bit. It's not just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna slap some balls on a canister and call it a day. It's a bit more exciting than that. So, if you guys are familiar with some physics stuff, in any case, we need to actually get to a different area for this. If you're familiar with, you know, some relativity, you know, like just kind of like think about, you know, the consequences of going faster, you know, of going close to the speed of light, or what it would imply to go the speed of light. It's pretty much a fact that you can't go faster than the speed of light. Now in this game, like, there's no upper bound on velocity here, you know, and you don't see crazy shit when you should see crazy shit when it comes to relativistic speeds. But it is still something to say that you went past, you know, the speed of light in a game. And we've succeeded in going faster than the speed of light off-stream, like several times the speed of light, you know, like absolute velocity. And it almost crashed the computer. Not the specific rig. I have confidence in this rig. But, yeah. Now obviously you can do a sort of slingshot maneuver and you can sort of get yourself faster than the speed of light, you know. There's a couple of ways to do it. But with just sheer engine power, we're gonna see what's possible. And this may get super